excited to be here tonight for our little challenge party. The name challenge party, the term might be a little foreign to people. You'll understand what that means by the end of the presentation. But we're going to take a look at what I believe to be the future of supplementation tonight. And we're going to wrap it into a business opportunity, because I think that there's a couple serious issues that are of pandemic proportion in Canada right now. The first is our health and our ability to swallow. You okay? We are in deplorable shape today. We are created to be lean beings. And unfortunately, we are being forced to eat processed foods and foods that are doing terrible things to our health. And I'm part of a company from Dallas, Texas, Evolv, that is looking to help people to recapture the essence of who they should be, to evolve their health. The other pandemic is a financial pandemic, or lack thereof. And I'm probably a great example of how bad it can look for an individual. It's really exciting for me to be the host here tonight and to explain to everybody what we're actually up to. I've been doing supplement distribution for the last 9 years. But if somebody had have told me 9 years ago, Ken, in 9 years from now, you're going to be hanging out in this really cool, awesome home in Oakville, Ontario, talking to people about supplements, and in 9 years from now, you'll have made $9 million traveling in 45 countries around the world, teaching people about supplements. And in 9 years from now, you'll have written 4 books about supplements and leadership and spoken on stages in front of crowds as large as 20,000 people. I would have said, can you shut your phone off, please? No, that's not what I would have said.
That would have been good.
I would have said you're absolutely insane, because 9 years ago I was a homicide detective. And I was in my 13th year of a policing career that I started when I was 18 years old. At the age of 18, I was probably one of the youngest police officers ever hired by the RCMP, and started my law enforcement career in an undercover drug project that had me posing as a high school student in Ormukto High School in 1988, buying and selling drugs. It was the coolest job on the planet. It was a really neat experience. I went from drug enforcement to a SWAT team, and then moved up to Ottawa, Canada, where I spent a decade in child sexual abuse investigations, aggravated assault, firearms trafficking, and finally in homicide investigations. And to be very honest with everybody, I thought I had the coolest job on the planet. And to make things even more cool sounding, my wife at the time, 10 years ago, was a registered nurse who was running a program in the Canada Revenue Agency. She was the head of medical adjudication for disability tax credits. In other words, if somebody had a disability and was filing for credits on their income tax, she ran a team of 200 doctors and nurses that would adjudicate the claims, say yes or no. And she was pulling down $250,000 a year doing it. Myself, about 100 grand. Why did I tell you about our income? It's because in spite of that, I was $486,000 in debt. And I have no idea how I did it. All I remember about the 10 years from 18 or 20 to 30, when I was 20, I had no debt. When I was 30, I was $500,000 in debt. And the only thing I can recall from that decade is that it was a lot of fun. But when I was holding my son for the first time, I thought, you know, I got to fix this. I don't want to grow up in a situation where I can't provide the best life possible for my kids. And I meandered through a couple of different businesses. And over the last decade, changed everything. Changed my life financially, and now we get to live this really cool life where I spend all of my time mixing up protein shakes and other concoctions and jamming them down people's throat. Thank you all very much for coming tonight. That was my best joke, and it didn't faze one person. We're in trouble. Here's what we're going to do. There's a couple things I want to share with you. We've got, I believe, 3 products that we're going to talk about tonight that are in their own right medical breakthroughs. 2 products are consumables. One is a technology. They each have very relevant places and why we're here. We also have a marketing program that we are launching in Canada that we call E84. The products that I'm most excited about are, first and foremost, a huge medical breakthrough called Limitless. And that really is the product that has attracted so many people to our cause. And we've invited Dr. Oz here tonight to tell you all about it. And then another product that we're going to talk about is called C-Prime. C-Prime is an unbelievable breakthrough. And then the third product that I think has yet to be discovered for its potency and what it can do for people is a liquid multivitamin called Ultimate. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too. There's a couple things I want to just share with everybody, just as kind of like an overview to make sure we're all in the same zone. You've been invited here tonight for one of 2 reasons. Number 1, you've been invited here because you've heard about a great product and you're interested in that product for your health. The second group of people has been invited here tonight because of a business opportunity. And so the videos that we're going to present to you are designed to focus mostly on the products and your health. But at the end, we're going to get into a video that explains how you can make some money with this if you want. As we go through the products, you're going to hear a lot about a marketing strategy that we call E84. And E84 is something that I'm fired up about it. E84 is a program where we teach people to use our products and we focus on an 84-day period. From the day somebody starts consuming any one of these products, we realize that the real secret to creating lifetime consumption, to get somebody on the product and keep them on it forever, is the first 84 days. There's research out of several universities in Canada and the United States that says most serious long-term habits are actually created in a 12-week period. So, in order to create an incentive to help people to develop the habit around consuming our products, we've launched a program that we like to call a lifestyle challenge. So we're going to tell you about the products, but we're also going to entice you to use our products and to increase your health. That's E84. So what we want you to do as you're listening to the products is to think about your own life. Think about the things that you'd like to have better. And if you decide to join us, whether it's for your health or for your business, think about what you could do to increase the quality of your health in the next 84 days. Now that could be something like quitting smoking, or stopping drinking, or losing a few pounds, or getting rid of a nagging inflammatory issue in your body. Either way, if you can pinpoint one thing that you'd like to have better in the next 84 days and you use our products to do it, well, if you reach that goal in 84 days, you can win the chance to participate in over $40,000 in cash and prizes that we're going to give away in June of this year. So, the first product that I want to tell everybody about is our guest of honor. It's Limitless. Limitless is an amazing product that was 10 years in the making. You're going to learn in the videos about our flagship product and our research partners who developed it. Futuraceuticals is a Chicago-based research and development company that is 100 years old and has done billions of dollars in research for some of America's biggest naturopathic, nutraceutical, and pharmaceutical companies. 10 years ago, Futuraceuticals was studying the biggest problem in the world today that has to do with inflammation. It's arthritis. Here's the stats. In Canada right now, 50% of people in this country are 50 years or older. 65% of those people have diagnosed arthritis. An estimated 80 to 90% of people in our country in the last 12 months have suffered from some type of issue that has involved long-term chronic pain. How many people in the last 12 months have had some type of pain in their body that has lasted for more than a week? It's everybody. Now the challenge is, and what we realized a decade ago, is that when somebody is in pain, the first thing they do is reach for an over-the-counter remedy like Tylenol or acetaminophen or Advil. And then if it persists or gets worse, then we go to our doctors. And our doctors prescribe things like Celebrex or Oxycontin. All of these things I've just mentioned and many, many more are lumped into a category of drugs called NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Well, Futureceuticals realized, as well as the medical academia, that in spite of the fact that these things are necessary, they're evil. NSAIDs are the most harmful drugs on the planet. In fact, Celebrex, one of the most often prescribed drugs for pain in Canada, has a warning right on the label that says long-term use will cause death. But people use it anyway. Anybody here ever been on Celebrex?
Nobody. Yeah.
The genesis for the research, as my learned friend said, was a decade and a half ago when a prescription drug called Vioxx was recalled in Canada. Unfortunately, it was only recalled after it killed 20 people. So Futureceuticals started studying different groups of people, different plants, different vegetables, different things that seem to make a difference. And the only real definitive evidence that they could find of a natural solution was that people in Eastern Europe have historically had significantly lower levels of inflammation. When they were doing the research, the only thing that they could find that made a difference is that Eastern Europeans eat a ton of beets. You know, root beets, Mom always said, eat your beets. How many people here like beets?
Love it.
Well, ironically, when they looked closely at the beet, what they found is that inside of the beets, the reason the beets are red is because of a molecule called betalains. The betalains cause the pigment. It's the color. They found that the betalains were a natural anti-inflammatory. And that if you ate enough beets, in fact, if you ate enough beets from childhood, you could literally develop an increased resistance or resilience against inflammation in your body. The problem, though, is that we don't eat that much beet. People in Poland, that's the staple. Like we eat rice and potatoes and vegetables, they eat beets. Here in North America, though, it's just not the same. They looked deeply at how much somebody would actually have to eat if they wanted to catch up with those Polish people and reduce inflammation. They found that you or I would have to eat about 600 beets per day.
Ooh, okay.
If you managed to do it, you would die of sugar poisoning. So they spent 6 years and $6 million. And they invented an extraction process to take the betalain molecule out of the beet and put it into a capsule. That's Limitless. What fascinated me about the product, and why I believe, and so does every doctor I show it to, that this is truly a medical breakthrough, is that it is the first natural supplement ever sold in our country that is extracted from a natural food source and did not require to have any other ingredients added to it. Normally when you extract a molecule from a food source, like vitamin C from limes or lemons, or what is it, betanin that comes out of carrots? I can't remember exactly which, somebody knows. Beta-carotene that comes from carrots. If you encapsulate it, you always have to add different preservatives and additives in order to stabilize it, so it will last for a long time. Well, this extraction process naturally stabilizes the betalains in the process. So this is literally, you can see the packaging afterwards. The only ingredient in the package is betalains, nothing else. But what's really cool is one capsule is the equivalent of eating 1,000 servings of beets. Now the reason we say it that way is because beets come in different shapes and sizes, kind of like people. But a serving is considered to be 4 ounces. So if we were to take a look at different beets and sizes, one capsule would be equivalent to eating approximately 600 beets. They did clinical studies on this product before they gave it to a single person, and that's where the real medical breakthrough is. In a clinical study that was conducted on the only ingredient in this package, they found 100% of people that suffered with osteoarthritis saw a significant decrease in pain and inflammation within 7 days. And then the real breakthrough happened. They did blood tests. And in the blood test, they found a 35% reduction in TNF-alpha markers. That stands for tumor necrosis factor alpha. That is the leading indicator marker in your blood that measures inflammation. My friends, there is no other natural product sold in the world that reduces TNF-alpha markers by 35% apart from what I have in my hand. This is a medical breakthrough. Now here's the coolest part of the story. We launched this product in the world on the 26th of August. It's been for sale in the world for 7 months. 1 week before we launched this product, there was this crazy doctor dude in the United States that did an entire show about betalains. In a 15-second clip that they aired at the beginning of the show, he said, "I've unearthed the world's greatest superfood." It was Dr. Oz. He said, "It's beets." And then he went on to say that beets contain betalains and beta-cynnin. Beta-cynnin is the active ingredient in betalains. And beta-cynnin has been proven to reduce tumors and eliminate cancer and increase libido, he says, and rev up your libido and reduce inflammation. And then he said, we're going to explore betalains today and the root beets. But if you want the benefits, you have to eat your beets, because there is no known encapsulated extracted betalains in the world. 1 week later, we launched this product. Let's hear from Dr. Oz and see what he has to say himself about this incredible superfood.
Libido, and I'll show you the hidden health secrets of this spectacular antioxidant and review how we have had it in the household for my entire adult.
Doctors around the world are saying is proven to reduce tumors and prevent cancer. To reduce tumors and prevent cancer. I mean, Dr. Oz, public national television says that, and we have the only extracted beta-cynnin product on the planet. Anybody intrigued yet? Yeah. Okay, cool. Glad to hear that. Here's what I'd like to do. We're going to jump in and explain a little bit about E84 and our other products on this video, but before we do that, I'd like to have a few people who have had a chance to use Limitless already to just yell out their name and tell everybody a little bit about their experience with the product. Who wants to go first?
I'm Phil Cook, and I've been on since January some date, when my daughter said, will you send that nagging Leslie up to figure out to stop talking to my friends. And I came over to straighten Leslie out. So I came back a full member. And had to email my daughter and Fernie to tell her I'm a member. But I love it. I've had 2 open heart surgeries. I'm losing my eyesight. I can't drive. I feel like crap. And
I love the product. I feel like crap.
But that's how I did feel. At this point, you know, I took the bus here tonight. Walk a few blocks here and there.
Wow.
Shake the sky at the black clouds. I get up when my wife leaves for work, and I go to bed without naps.
Wow.
And I used to be nap city. I used to be general fatigue. The doctors don't know, and I just saw the cardiologist, and
don't tell
he said, how come you don't need any Cialis? So there's my story.
Who else? Who's next? Geraldine, go ahead.
Yeah, I have experienced all my life menstrual pains, terrible menstrual pains. I actually had a surgery a few years ago that didn't do anything. I still feeling terrible, and then I started taking it, and 3 weeks after, I didn't realize that I was having my period. It was just amazing. It was no pain. It was nothing. It was actually scary. It was like, oh, what's that? You know, and no symptoms.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Great.
that's
Good for you.
yeah.
Who else? Who's next?
Well, we're very grateful to this group because, you know, I think just like you, our lives have changed in just a short week. Johnny and I were scientists from Guelph, and we run Proactive Health Resources. It's a natural health consultancy for practitioners, and we also see clients, and we do what's called orthomolecular nutrition, much like our friend here. In other words, using the healthy molecules before resorting to unhealthy ones. And we search for ethical products all the time to see, how we can help our clients and friends and family. And we also come from health adversity. Johnny and I both have had a lot of health problems before we met and kind of, patched ourselves up. And for the most part, we're in great shape because of all the things we have done. But from that fibromyalgia and, chronic fatigue kind of background and multiple chemical sensitivity, it's tough when the weather shifts abruptly. So spring and fall, a lot of my clients who are much like me complain about these seasons, right? So when we got the phone call about this discovery from our Fresh and Raw Foods friend, who we trust implicitly, and he said, I've never had more alertness on a long drive through the States. He says, I know I'm healthy, but I can't believe how good I feel with this Betalanes. Wow. And we take him seriously, so we said we're going to investigate. Well, the day that we went, just 10 days ago to the training on Saturday in Toronto, I almost had Johnny turn around because I was in so much pain. I couldn't find a way to sit in the car that I could cope. Well, by the time we heard the message, we were so intrigued. Driving home, we had bought our little box of Betalanes, Limitless, and I thought, you know what, why don't I take one of these on the way home? Do you know that in 30 minutes, I looked on the dashboard and I couldn't believe that about 70% of that tension and discomfort and burning was gone. And that's like from the neck through the shoulders, the whole entire body up to the feet. It was soft and limber, and my mood had lifted, it was just remarkable. 1 hour total, back to Guelph. I was pain-free, I was productive, I slept the best night I had in a long, long time. And you know what, we have access to professional products, right? We have a whole, natural pharmacy to choose from. And I cannot tell you that really right now it would have to be several things I'd have to pull together to get a fraction of that response in people that are resistant like me. And then we tried it on some of our toughest friends and family and clients over this past week. And everyone, that first capsule, wow. I mean, I've never seen that in any other product. So some of them are here. But we're very grateful for this discovery.
Thank you, young lady. Who else has experienced Limitless?
I'm Pat Memrick. I'm from Burlington, and Catherine and I both do biofeedback testing. So we see we can test supplements on our equipment with the patient hooked up. So we're testing the product against the chemistry of the patient, and we're getting results showing what acupuncture points or meridians these products will positively affect. And so I've tested it on myself, and yesterday actually, and I was quite surprised that it's absolutely phenomenal.
Those testimonies that I'm hearing, and I just a simple I tried this in my hand. It's always suffered the winter time, when it get cold. So that October, and then a friend of mine Ken called me and they said, just try this one, and then I tried that one, and only one capsule again, that one capsule, and that day, 50% of that discomfort in my hand went away, and after that 2 days, 3 days is 100%. So that's amazed me, because I know I cannot even lift sometimes my coffee or something, or tea cups, because of that pain that I had that before. So that's really thankful for this, and now I'm so excited. I'm really pumped up. Right?
Yeah, it's because you're making a bunch of money. That's
I felt a heat in my back that first day, and a release almost of the muscle tissue in my back, and it works so much better. I also had some shoulder pain from accidents, and that's gone too. So I can only attribute it to this product.
Thank you very much. So whether you're here, yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Just one thing. I hadn't heard anybody mention this, but my mom had diabetes, and she's had it for years, and she'd been taking the product for a while, and asked me a question. She wanted to know if it would help with her diabetes, or if it did, because she was seeing some results. And I said, well, what kind of results? And she said that her blood sugar levels have come down significantly.
Right. Yep.
So just recently, she went and saw her doctor, and her doctor was amazed at what has happened, because over the past couple of years, they've just been putting her on more and more medication. well, this is the first time that they've actually reduced her medication. And she's going to stay on it for the rest.
Ever.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you guys all for coming.